Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 152. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today, Vicki gets to share a personal story.
Yes, it's my turn. And honestly, there's nothing sexy about taking my kids to the orthodontist, but I want you to keep listening anyway, because there is a good story. That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Welcome back to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 152. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Vicki.
And we're going to find out how sexy an orthodontist office is.
It's not. It's really not. But honestly, what made me think of this, Mitch, is for an episode, is that I'm spending a ton of money on orthodontia for 4 kids.
On
what? Orthodontia. It's the whole experience of orthodontics. That's what they call it.
Orthodontia, wish your doctor was hot like me.
The funny thing is, I don't even know if I would I don't think I would recognize Annie's orthodontist if I just passed him on the street, because I don't even go back with her to her appointments. Okay. She's almost 17. Like, right. I just sit in the office, or usually she gets a ride, and yeah. Anyhow, but my point is, we're paying a lot of money for this service. And so in some ways it made me realize it's similar to what some people are doing when they are investing in their wedding vendors. Sure. And they're making these big decisions that have a lasting impact. And then there's differences. I mean, the wedding is one day. And in my case, I feel like I'm at the orthodontist all the time because 4 kids.
You are there for one day.
And it's a long time. No, I wish it was just one day and be said and done. But no, even when Annie got her braces off, like I was still in there recently for a retainer check with her. At least they're going to every 6 months now is all for her. But now my little guys have to start. Okay, so things I love about this doctor's office.
Yes.
They like to have fun. Every time I've been in there, there's some kind of a contest going on. Back in the fall, they had a pumpkin carving contest, and all of the staff had these really elaborate pumpkins, and they had it set up so all the patients could vote for their favorites. And then at the end of the month, the staff got some kind of a prize. A few months later, we were there, and it was Christmas time, and they had gingerbread houses in this one area of the office. And I mean, they were amazing. Like, I'm in there taking photos of, I don't even know all of the staff. It's a big office. Actually, there's multiple offices too. So it's a really big practice. But I just think it's fun. They're trying to engage. And then the last time I went was in February, and for Valentine's Day, they had pictures of 8 staff members on one side of a heart, like individual photos, and they were numbered. And then they had pictures of 8 spouses on the other, and you had to guess who went with who.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so funny because, and again, me as a personality trainer, I'm just looking at this and laughing, and I'm trying to just guess, because I don't even know. I mean, I've met the front office lady, but sometimes she's had different assistants when I've gone back there. And I don't, and then you're like, God, I feel bad. Am I stereotyping? And, and I'm kind of joking. I'm like, okay, are there any same-sex couples, or are they all, can I help me eliminate, some basic criteria?
Who's out?
But it was just fun, and it was funny. So for me, gonna make me lose my train of thought. For me as a yellow, I love those kind of things.
Right.
And that makes me, feel like, okay, good. They're fun. They have a sense of humor. They're used to families with kids. They're trying to make this experience as painless as possible. Because let's face it, nobody loves to go to the orthodontist, and once you get your braces on, then you're getting them tightened or adjusted, or in Annie's case, it was Invisalign, but still it's like they hurt and it's not pleasant. So I love that. But I have to admit, the red side of me has struggled sometimes with this same office. Like, my two little boys, I took them back in at the end of last year. And I'm kind of a procrastinator. I took them in for their appointments, got their treatment plans, figured out what they needed, but I needed to wait till after the first of the year when our health savings account stuff reset for the new year. And so I finally took them in February, or when I took Annie in February, I wanted to schedule their appointment. And so I just said to the front desk lady, hey, since I'm here, can I make an appointment for my boys? And we're talking about spending another $5,000 with them. And this is not a given in my mind, because I'll be honest, I'm not with the same orthodontist office that my oldest son went to. And that may be another story about why we switched.
Okay.
But it's not just a given that when you have a big family, you're going to, create repeat clients. So this was a big decision. And I'm like there and ready saying, okay, I've got 2 more boys that are ready to start treatment. Can I schedule their appointment? And the lady at the front desk couldn't schedule me. And she looked up their chart in the computer or something, and she's like, oh, well, so-and-so is their treatment coordinator, so you'll have to talk with her. And I'm like thinking, okay, great. And she says, oh, but she's on a phone call right now. Can't she just call you? Can she just call you on your cell? Is this still, and she verifies the number. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm here. I was in the office for 40 minutes. I know she wasn't on one phone call for 40 minutes if all she does is schedule people.
Right.
But it really upset me that she couldn't come out from behind her desk and talk to me face to face.
Right.
And I'm not anti-cell phone, but when you just call someone, I'm busy. I work from home. Like, I'm on conference calls. I'm recording podcasts. I can't always get to my phone, and it's not always convenient. I was in mom mode, in orthodontics mode, in the office, calendar in hand, ready to schedule, ready to sign papers, ready to hand over money, whatever they needed me to do.
Yeah.
And they totally blew me off.
Yeah.
And I was, even the fact that her retainer check, I was in there for 40 minutes. She even laughed at me. She's, like I said, 17. And she's like, Mom, it took 2 minutes, but the doctor was so far behind. I literally sat in the chair and did stuff on my phone for a half an hour until he came over and did the final sign off.
Doesn't surprise me.
And so I'm like, so the red in me, like the efficiency, who wears multiple hats, I'm dying. And I'm like, can't you make it easy for me to do business with you?
Right.
At this moment, I am here and I am ready to pay you, and I am choosing to try to have face-to-face conversation. And you're telling me, oh, so-and-so will just call you later.
Right.
And she's down the hall. She went and checked and oh, she's on a call right now.
Yeah.
Really?
So
it wasn't her lunch break. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. So there's some lessons here to be learned from this personal story. And that is, number one, it's ironic. We've been chatting about this a little bit in Sales for Event Pros lately, of how maybe people don't necessarily care to meet their event professional.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know, you said you wouldn't even know the orthodontist they walked down the street by you. Yeah. So there's something to be said for that. And
I met him once and he answered my questions.
You're over 40 years old, so that's a different thing. And
no.
So there's that. There's the reality of making it fun for your customers in attendance and getting some interaction, if you will, in the meeting or planning session or whatever it may be. And then finally, it's the reality of making it efficient for them to do business with you. And having someone say, well, that's not my department, is probably not the best way to handle things.
And I get that bigger companies, though, Mitch, need to have departments.
Yeah.
And structure and chain of command and all that. Because again, that having processes like that, that plays into efficiency.
Well,
and providing a good service, but just knowing that she was there killed me.
Well, yeah, she's there and not paying attention to the customer who was there in front of her too. I think it goes back to, a future guest, frankly, that we're going to have. on the show. The whole concept of improv and saying yes and yes, and I'll get that message right over to her. Is it okay if she calls you tomorrow? Just simply saying yes probably would have changed your opinion a little bit versus the attitude of, I'm not the one to take care of that.
Yeah.
Which is what she said. So starting with yes is a huge shift, even if you're not the one that can handle it, for example, in this case.
Yeah. So, but I think also, Mitch, it's the idea that not all clients are the same. In their case, not all patients are the same.
Agreed.
And some of what they were trying really spoke to me as a yellow, but their structure felt very blue. I didn't happen to fit in their perfect box. And oh my God, heaven forbid someone come by the office and want to make, an appointment in person instead of calling.
Right.
That just shouldn't be. I mean, maybe that's not normal. Maybe most people just pick up the phone, but I was there. I'm a repeat client.
No, exactly.
I was already there with one kid. Why couldn't I schedule the next one?
Of course, make it easy for you again.
And it was crazy. And I know there's more to this, and I'm glad you brought up that topic of improv and even this whole idea of connecting, which is sort of an ongoing theme.
Absolutely.
Those are definitely topics that are going to be coming up later this month. So
yeah, we're looking forward to it. So thank you for sharing your personal story with us, Vicki.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen inside of a doctor's office. I've got my own personal stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
about that as well. So that's it for today. Creating Connections, episode number 152. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
We provide personal solutions through understanding people better. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.